What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to Sunless Skies. My name is Splat, happy to have you here as we hang out for a little while with our storylets. Is anything going on here? We've got a coggy conversation, so we'll bid her a good evening. I don't think there's anything we can talk about there. In the previous episode, we had set out in our faithful steam locomotive in the hopes that we would make a little bit of money and maybe gather up some supplies. So far, it has not been a positive prospect, though. We haven't made a whole lot of money. We haven't done a whole lot of stuff. We picked up a weird specimen at one of the locations through a lucky bid. Hopefully that'll sell for some echoes. I don't know. They're called sovereigns in this game, but they were called echoes in the previous game. So damn it, I'm going to call them echoes in this one, too. We got two buildings over here along with a lighthouse. We've got like a bridge on this side. Let's see if we can find... There's the port. I was going to say the port's got to be around here somewhere. Our supplies are low enough to where I don't feel very comfortable like running all over the place. Like, unless I'm sitting on like 20 supplies and 20 fuel, I don't feel good doing like massive excursions into the middle of the wastes. The Queen's Cross Station. Crammed at the feet of a hulking crag, Port Prosper is a little London, divided into an affluent West End and an impecunious East. This game is so good for vocabulary, man. If you're trying to expand your vocabulary, you should definitely play Fallen London, Sunless Skies, and Sunless Sea. You will come across, even for people that really like words, like I love words, I love vocabulary, it's something that I've always enjoyed in life, is just like the 1,000 different ways to say the same thing. Even if you like words and your vocabulary is fairly well developed, you will find just odd little words here and there, like impecunious. Impecunious. Never used that word in my life. Queen's Cross is its busy station, the terminus of the Isambard line that begins in a far-off London. Well, I guess we'll take the fastidious inspector here. She disembarks with her bag in hand and peers up at a clock tower that is being raised above the station. It is tangled with scaffolding and rings with sound of hammers and the cries of workmen. Accept our payment. So there it is. Ensure you love space in your... Oh, sure you have space. There we go. Thank you, Captain. Here's the balance of our agreement, and as promised, a requisition order for fuel and supplies. She casts another glance at the incomplete clock tower. Given the apparent state of construction, I recommend you visit the worksite. There may be an opportunity there. I thank you for the pleasant conversation, Captain. The sky can be a lonely place. You enlivened it, and I've included a small additional sum in your remuneration as a token of my gratitude. Oh, cool. So we got 150 sovereigns, we got 60 XP, we got 3 supplies, and 3 fuel. Very nice. And so we actually have an opportunity to go to the Albert Clock. Let's continue. And so with the Albert Clock, they plan to call it the Albert Clock in memory of the departed prince's consort. But there's a way to go yet. The roof isn't finished, and the clock neither ticks nor bongs. And a clock that doesn't bong, what is the point of a clock if you can't use it as a bong? You can see the fastidious inspector up among the workings with a spanner and a can of oil, showing the workmen how it's done. Do you need anything? Bronzewood, the foreman says bluntly. 1 consignment. They sell it at Port Avon and Trader's Wood, I hear. A pane of stained glass, too. New Winchester is your best bet, or Titania. The Flower Town will pay proper like. Okay, so he wants bronzewood, and then he wants a pane of stained glass window. Okay, I can do that. What about Fulbright's Necessities? What do you have over here? We got 150 bucks in Nelson's Emporium. I don't really have anything to sell on this size, or on this side. However, they do have the caddies of dried tea that we need in order to get more favors from the people down in Avon's Crossing. So we'll keep that in mind. In this game and in Sunless Seas, so there's going to be a lot of corollaries. You really do want to memorize the locations where you get everything. One of the reasons why I'm able to play Sunless Seas so rapidly is because I know where everything is at. Like, I know what I need in order to get this, that, or the other. Like, I know how to get sunlight. I know how to get Maybe's mother. Like, I know how to do all these random things because I've played the game a lot, and it makes my progress much more lubricated. However, I will say that there's a certain magic that goes into these games when you play them for the first time, and you're still discovering things, and you're piecing things together and trying to figure out where stuff is that you need in order to get your job done. That's one of those situations that I think the game really excels at. It makes it very, very fun to play, is because it's a game of discovery. I think that's pretty much all we had here. So, we can go to Port Prosper, I guess, and just kind of see what's going on. The narrow streets of Port Prosper huddle in the shadow of a great crag. Bunting festoons the walkways. Banners display the stony features of her enduring majesty. Wealthy West Enders strut by exchanging polite greetings and veiled gossip. Meanwhile, sooty East End workers file to their hour refining factories. Peeling posters promise fresh, wholesome lives in the reach to new arrivals, but many of the posters are years old. More newcomers arrive at Port Prosper than ever leave. Okay, well, we can get a clay conductor over here. We will have a first officer, who will increase our hearts by 3, our irons by 1, and our affiliation with the Academy by 1. You can also take a port report, so I'm going to do that first. The factories continue to belch out smoke, while over the bridge hopeful crowds gather outside Admiral Nelson. Lovers can be seen strolling, arm in arm, along the promenade, at a respectable distance from their chaperones. There was a brief protest outside the Windward Company factory, which was swiftly quelled. The scones at the Nelson were as good as ever, through the piquancy of the jam was less than desired. Piquancy is like the smell, something that is piquant, or something that is piquant has a very... Sometimes it's used sarcastically to denote something as super smelly, but it just means that something has a very strong aroma. So we now have a port report for Prosper. We can attend a parade. What is that going to do for me? Amusements at Port Prosper. We can also attend a private meeting with the Windward Company. A message was waiting with the station master. The envelope is crisp as a new banknote, the handwriting gilded and impossibly neat. The offices of the Windward Company on Port Prosper are elegantly appointed, if antiquated. Paintings of old London and the Z adorn the walls. The parsimonious chairman sits behind his mahogany desk, a decanter of brandy at his left hand and a series of neatly stacked reports at the right. A fire has been lit in the cavernous hearth. It's too warm. All right. He pours the brandy into 2 glasses and produces a ruler from his desk to measure the amounts and adjusts accordingly. When he is at least satisfied, he hands you a glass. It's a business. When he smiles, he reveals the extensive damage to his teeth. I was a pugilist back in London. Young man's game. He invites you to join him by the window where starlight dazzles the sloping streets of Prosper. A place like this is only kept safe by toil, you understand? The pioneers who built it, the politicians who funded it, and the people who defend it from, his lip curls, the tackities. Those who toil in such labor are rewarded. Proof is required, of course. Nameplates will do. We keep lists of their engines, and so we can hunt down tackety locomotives and provide their nameplates to the parsimonious chairman. Are tacketies what are tacketies, though? I mean, I need job opportunities, so... I don't know. Sure, let's hunt tacketies, I guess. He smiles broadly and refills your glasses. He allows another centimeter each. Cheers. Your glasses clink as another ripple of heat comes from the hearth. I'm glad that here are some in the reach that are still dedicated to our vision. So we can hunt tackety locomotives and bring back nameplates. Okay. I guess I'll look for tackety locomotives. Gotta do what you gotta do. We'll also attend a parade. Gaudy banners fly over the painted rooftops of Port Prosper. The smog of the East End is hidden by giant posters displaying dragons in varying degrees of vivisection. The cramped streets are clogged with people. Wealthy West Enders promenade about the amusements, while impoverished East Enders work the stalls and huddle by chestnut fires for warmth. A painted dragon pursued by knights is chased through the crowds to a chorus of "Ho! The riding." So we can mingle with East Enders, lurking in tents or manning stalls, or scowling at the gentry. They seem more your level. Hell yeah, let's fraternize with... let's keep it even. We'll fraternize with everyone. You're treated as a curiosity and viewed from all sides with suspicion. Still, you find yourself in a conversation with an elderly colonel who's retired to Port Prosper. A bulwark of sanity, he calls it. A line in the sand against all the stuff out there. He introduces you to one of the riders in the procession who takes you on a tour of the carnival. You converse with the chestnut sellers and flower arrangers and drink in the outdoor pubs and dance with several of the vaudeville players. At the end of the day, you've learned many of the names and faces and even acquired a few calling cards. And so there it is. You are tolerated by the prosperous West Enders and the impoverished East Enders alike. A hue and cry goes up on the Mornington Abbott Thought span. A thief at the Admiral Nelson. The guards will not be kind. What does that mean? We can take a factory tour, I guess. Yeah, sure. The factories of Port Prosper's East End belch out smoke at an impressive rate. Inside, hours mined from the Mother of Mountains are agonizingly refined. The workers live in tenement blocks adjoining the smokestacks and are rarely seen in the rest of the Port Prosper. Their hours are long and the reserves of energy are low. Today, the owner of the Windward Refinery is allowing visitors into his factory. Okay. So I can lurk in the shadows, and this will make my eastward reputation better. No, I failed! You slip into the shadows to better observe proceedings. Hidden away, you see all sorts of things, as you suspect the factory owners would prefer you not to. Barrels being assigned you destinations based on bribes rather than need. Fatigued workers revivified by sips of unrefined hours. Shifts extended and extended again, for time has little meaning here. You are disturbed by a sudden cry of, "I say, who's that lurking behind the barrels?" It's time to be off. You are tolerated by East Enders. You have lost westward reputation. Snow swirls around Port Prosper and settles on Mall's table. Fur-coated West Enders dash through the drifts. Okay. Well, we did something. Let's take the clay conductor. He shakes your hand firmly. It's like being grasped by an avalanche. All aboard, then. I simply cannot thank you enough for the opportunity, Captain. I think that's all that we've got going on here, so I will take a moment while we're in port. Wanted to take a look at my officers. So we have a first officer. He's given us 3 hearts, 1 iron, and affiliation to the academy. I can click on him to talk with him. Unfortunately, his promotions are unavailable, and it looks as though his storyline has not been written yet. So that's fine. I remember a time when Sunless Skies was the exact same way. You click through a menu, and they'd be like, well, there's nothing here for you just yet. Ain't nothing here for you just yet. We are in the skies. Let's have a look around and see what we can find here. Hopefully we can get ourselves into a little bit of a scrum, too, because we're a pirate hunter, a privateer of mark and retaliation. Yar! Out into the sea we go to find our enemies and lay them low in Davy Jones's booty hole. I guess I'll flip around. Looks like there's something else over on that other side. Ain't nothing on this side, though. Ghost ride the ship. All right, so let's go back around. I'm going to go around the top of Maul's table. We'll see what we can unlock up there. We haven't gotten a second level up yet, but I can't wait to see what's going to happen when we do, because the level up system in this game is simply delightful. So far as we come around the top of, what was this place called? This place was called Port Prosper, sorry. As we go across Port Prosper, didn't find any new locations. I think there was one little thing, but it was just like a space, like a gap, and it gave us 100 XP, so nothing really too insane to see over there. We'll keep an eye out for enemy pirates, though. I would love to actually get a couple of nameplates and turn those in. We need to make some money. We need to make money badly, and I'm hoping we get at least 100 sovereigns per kill, because if we can't start to get some cash together, cash is what makes this game function. Ooh, is that blood coming out of that stump? We've arrived at some kind of blood stump. I don't know what this is, like blood rooms, some kind of blush rooms. Gross. I don't like them. Trypophobia, bro. Fear of holes in eyes. Don't Google that. You give yourself a new phobia. It'll mess with you, man. I wish nobody had ever linked that shit to me. Because now you just look at it in morbid fascination. You're like, that's weird. I don't like that at all. Shasta's leg. Shasta's leg looked like it's seen better days. Shasta's leg need a splint. It's not looking so good right now. What is this over here? This looks like a new location we can arrive at. Let's do it. Hybris. Okay. Let's see what's going on in Hybris. In Hybris, a fledgling colony trying to dig its fingernails deep enough into the spongy fungal fabric of the reach to cling on when hard times come, it is a sad truth that many more settlements are founded than flourish. Nestled amidst the sprawling, sporing gardens of fungus, Hybris is a colony of octogenarians. Rotting buildings slough gently into decay, maintenance is poor and the population aged. An insect infested by deep spines of fungus flies past drowsily. Growth asks no license, reads a barely legible sign staked into a collapsed pile of fungal eggs. We've got a venerable welcome party. Let's take a look. The mayor has a firm handshake. Welcome, welcome to our little hideaway in the skies. Watch your step, that one's about to fruit. True enough, the little white sack at your feet suddenly breaks apart as snaking thick red tendrils of fungus explode outwards. The mayoral assistant, a severe woman of slightly less advanced years, guides the mayor to a nearby bench. You're welcome here as long as you like, as long as you need. From whatever you leave behind, here you are safe. Okay, that seems a little... seems a bit like an overstatement. Something's definitely going on here. We can explore the settlement, or we can take tea at the Brendan. That's going to cost us 5 sovereigns, though. We can wander the wilds of Hybris. So as far as our terror goes, we are wary. We're at 43%. I do think they should bring back... it's got this thing right here. I think what they should do is they should put the percentage back over here just so you can monitor it a little bit better. I don't know. I know that they want to have, like, iconology and whatnot to help you figure out what's going on. But... I don't know. I don't like having to mouse over the meter to figure out what my exact percentage is. Or maybe just an option in the options menu to have the percentage listed along the sides of these right here when you click it on would be cool. I haven't checked. It might exist. I haven't checked the options, so it's possible it might exist. Gather a port report. Life moves slowly here. There are arguments over the rules of bowls and the correct length of time with which to steep tea. The station master keeps his distance and seems to avoid the villagers. Standing under the mushroom, one perceives a unique quality of light as starlight filters through the underside of the caps. We have a port report. Okay, we'll make a little bit of money right there. We can explore the settlement. We can wander the wilds of Hybris. We can take a slow day, or we can make a delicate inquiry. Everyone here is old. Why is that? The wizened mayor chuckles heartily when you wonder if there is a lower age limit on settling in Hybris. Oh, no, 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 we'd welcome youth, but we don't get any settlers coming out this way. We're happily secluded, far away from prying eyes. He smiles across the marsh. His mayoral assistant trounces another unfortunate at bowls. We're rather enjoying a second youth here. Our best years were spent by others. The wizened mayor glances towards the town hall where preparations are being made for a marvelous show. We have plans to hopefully change that, though. I wonder if they're planning on stealing ours from Port Prosper. I wonder if they're allied with the workmen there. If they're like working class revolutionaries here or something like that have escaped so they don't have to work in the factories anymore. And the factories like stole their hours and so they're going to try and steal them back or something like that. You've got to get used to the fact that in the world of Fallen London, things are going to be weird. So things that were traded down in Sunless Sea were things like sunlight and romance stories and things of that nature. Up here in the stars, it appears as though time is the most important thing, and so time is being traded in between people, and it seems as though you can actually consume time in order to either become younger or in order to get some energy back. I haven't actually been able to figure out the difference between the two, but my assumption is that it's something like that. Nestled amidst the sprawling, we'll go explore the settlement. Sure, why not? Life moves at a slow pace here. Several colonists tend the allotments, while others sit outside the Brennan arguing over an old newspaper they pass between them. Periodically, Farron Ants comes outside to provide tea and fungal crackers. A carpenter struggles with the fretwork on a new town hall. The carvings are of factories and faceless factory workers. I can't remember the faces, he says sadly. Okay. Let's walk around the wilds for a minute. Fingers of black and red mushroom rise from the sodden ground like a graveyard on Judgment Day. Tendrils of white fungus form vast arches beyond the little colony that sway in interstellar drifts. An earthy smell like a newly opened barrow pervades the air and follows you through the swamps like a lost dog. In the middle of a grove of writhing sacks, you find a plinth adorned with broken and twisted nameplates, the shape of collars. A stamp reading Brabazon Work World has been imprinted on each one. Okay. A slow day. Farron Ants waves as she lights candles outside the Brendan. Infected fireflies dance around the long march in her hands. The wizened mayor calls to you from the balcony of his house, a little nightcap on his head. He's going to bed. He overdid it at bowls earlier, you see. Okay, so there's not much else to do here. Station master's fair. It looks like we can buy supplies, and we can't really buy and sell much here. So I think it's time for us to leave this location, unfortunately. It is not the place for us any longer. Here in Hybris, I'm going to do my best. Let's spend a little bit of our supplies to send out a bat and kind of see how that goes. We didn't get anything new. Your bat is happy to have found nothing of interest. Okay, I'm not so happy that he found nothing of interest, but I suppose we take what we can get out here. Doesn't look like there's going to be much else to the outside of whatever this strange little orbit/star chart we're inside of. So down to the south we go. It doesn't look like there's too many more. We've got kind of a fair amount of terror building up. I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. We also haven't... What are you? How do I identify other ships? Are you a tackety vessel? I can't tell. Oh, we actually have to aim now. Kind of an interesting situation to find ourselves in. Apparently, I have destroyed a tackety vessel of some kind. It says that looting is R, but it doesn't appear to be working. Oh, we can strafe, too. Interesting. Alright. Can I loot it? I would love to loot it. Doesn't look like looting's working. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but R is not looting this thing. Well, I changed the hotkey around to see if maybe there was some way to get this to work, but it doesn't appear to be working. There's not a whole lot that I can do there. I've pressed R. I've changed the hotkey around to see if maybe it was an issue with R. But no, it does not appear as though we are able to loot right now. Huh. Well, that's going to be problematic because looting is like a major part of Sunless Sea. That's how you get a lot of your loot in-game. And so it's not letting me loot right now. I don't know exactly why. I'm assuming that that's going to be one of those early access things that's causing problems, but I guess we'll carry on. I don't know. Yeah, I checked the forums, and apparently it's a pre-existing issue from the alpha where sometimes loot works and sometimes it doesn't. I don't know exactly how that's going to play out in the future, but I will say that it's inconvenient because that right there was a chance for us to get some freebies and maybe make our life a little bit easier. Our bat hasn't found anything out here, but I think it's about time that we head back to New Winchester, and so I'll swing down to the south. I will fight this guy along the way, too. I see no reason not to. I don't know if that's like a tackety vessel right there or what that is, but we're going to kill it. We are going to kill it dead. Ooh, we got him. There it is. Yeah, it looks like some things are lootable and some things are not. So that might be one of the things that is not lootable, because that one's not looting either. So we'll leave those kinds of trains alone from now on. Is that guy shooting at me? Are there bullets flying over here? If there are bullets flying over here, I want to be a part of it. Although I will say that our terror is getting a little bit high. I saw shooting. I definitely saw shooting over here. I'm going to try and lead him. There we go. Come on. There we go. Use that spread gun. And is that a tackety vessel? What is this right here? I'm looking for tackety vessels. See, that one's not working either. I can't loot anything. It's kind of a weird... I don't know. Like, loot's kind of a basic level function. Like, that needs to work. Like, above all else, like, that needs to work. Because, like, you can't give me quests to go shoot stuff and loot them if the loot isn't going to work. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll try restarting the game or something after this episode. That's a little bit frustrating. Not, like, crazy frustrating. It's early access, after all. So, like, you tailor your expectations along the way. I'm assuming that these are tackety vessels. Apparently, oh, my God. What is that right there? Is that like a dragon with a severed head? I'll be honest with you. We're going to have to come back for that. I don't even want to know right now. That shit looks pretty horrifying, though. Not exactly sure that I want to be interacting with it. I do feel better. Well, does it make you feel better? Like, when I go to the forums and I find out somebody else has the same issue, it makes me feel better because I'm like, good, I'm not the only one. The worst thing is when you get a bug in a game and you Google it, and then you go to, like, the forums and everything else, but nobody else has ever seen that bug before. You're just like, oh, well, was it a bug? Or, like, am I just doing something wrong? And you're just, like, left in that weird middle period where you're not sure if you're doing it right or wrong. God, I hate that. This is Port Avon down here. We do have quite a long haul for us, though, before we make it on back. We may want to consider stopping off. How fast is this going up right now? Pretty quick. Not like crazy fast. Trying to decide if I want to make the run back to New Winchester or not on 15%. I don't think we're going to make it, but you know what? I'm going to give it a try. I don't think we're going to make it. If we press the C button or something like that, I think we can do a change of heart. The settler emerges from his cabin, his suitcase clutched in his hands. I've had time to think, and I have to admit it. I can't do it. I won't make it out there in the wilds. Please take me back to New Winchester. Okay. Alright. Apparently, he wants to be a crewman now, so we have 11 crew. I thought he was going to ask for me to change his destination, take him back to New Winchester. But I guess not. I guess not. We'll see how this goes. I don't know if we're going to make the run back to New Winchester without... we're pretty far out. We're like in the middle of nowhere, so... Well, it looks like we sort of made it back. I don't know if we're going to make it back all the way into port, but we've got pretty high terror right now. We are in New Winchester, though, which is a start. There's our loading dock right there. I can change directions quickly by strafing, which I think is what I'm going to focus on. We are at 100% wary. Oop, and I crashed into a rock wall. Getting desperate trying to get up in here. A bump in the night. Midnight London time. You are alone on the bridge, and while consulting your chart, a loud thump makes you look up. A frozen corpse is pressed against your windows, trapped there by your speed. The winds must have plucked it from the lost wreck and carried it into your path. The corpse's glare is insistent. The mustache is bristled with frost. Throw that thing off. No, I failed. I lost 2 hull, and I am not alone. The vessel lurches one way, then the other. A burst of acceleration, a dramatic break. Something in the belly of the engine makes a shriek of protest. Hopefully it wasn't too important. The corpse is gone, though, flung into the endless mists. Okay, well, let's pull into port here and see if we can feel a little bit better. So does this go back down? Because we are currently at nervous. Normally what would happen is this would go back down. I think they've changed the way the system works, though, where it like levels up your fear along the way. Let's go ahead and we will turn in our port reports. So we will go to, I guess, Victory Hall. And so this is where the tacketies hang out. I think I already declared war on the tacketies, so I guess we'll go with these guys over here. I will give them to the sentry here. In the comfortable room with a modest secretary, stained glass windows lay crimson slants across the desk. Secretary receives your reports and reads them off one by one. Got 2 free fuel and a supply, and we got $60. It's not a lot, but I suppose it's something. We probably would have come back here with a lot more if we were able to loot those things. If we were able to loot those ships, we probably would have got some free supply or fuel. We're out of time for the day. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcast for the next episode of Sunless Skies. I will see you all later. How you do, everybody? I'll probably leave it here unless you guys want to see more. Be vocal about it. If you like what I do, check out Twitch TV/Splattercat Gaming. I'm up at 3 p.m. every single day for about 3 or 4 hours. Same cat time, same cat channel. So if you like the stuff on the channel, that's mostly what I stream there. Aside from that, I will see you all next time. How you do, everybody?